Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, friends, enemies and comrades, I hope you're doing well wherever you are. This is Kenya Revolutionary. I'm just going to give a brief, have a session with you guys. If you're going to watch this on repeat, please, the first order of business. The first order of business is to like the video. And if it's your first time here, subscribe, share, like, comment, and do all the good stuff. Okay? If you're wondering what this channel is about, it's about Kenyan politics. We talk about Kenyan politics and also world politics as it relates to Kenya. Now, I'm just going to review what's been happening of late in Kenya. Karibu sana Pretty Kauru, nice seeing you. The first order of business. I just want to talk in general, just review what has been happening in Kenya, whether it's today, yesterday, or the past few couple of days. We continue with this trend of lawlessness, abductions, corruption, lawmakers passing bills in the middle of the night or approving budgets in the middle of night of 1.3 billion or trillion, whatever the case is, that we do not know where this money will be heading to. So those are the things that we want to discuss. Also, we see that this regime, Ruto regime, is continuing to target any naysayers or people who are actually have an effect in their criticism of this government. We saw Dr. Mumbi, she was absent for like 3 days after posting her last post. But of course, she was found and she gave, through Gaito, she told us that, she met up somebody else. I don't know, it was like a date or something like that. And they ended up in an accident and she was injured. Gaito showed the picture of her injuries on his ex page. Okay. So we see this trend. Again, the king of Lesotho is in Kenya or is coming to Kenya. I don't know if he's in Kenya yet. The king of, is it Netherlands? Is also in town. We don't know what they are here doing. What's their real reason for visiting Kenya? I mean, what's so great about Kenya? Karibu sana, Shi Mariam nakuona karibu sana. The first order of business ni like video. Usininyime yo like. Tafadhali kwa hisani yako. Karibu sana. So these are all what we are going to talk about. Why is our country going down the drain? And are we just going to watch, look, and sit back and enjoy the ride? We saw, what's his face? This young man, Ndindi Nyororo, whatever his name is, called a press conference yesterday, telling us that, he was a staunch Uhuru Kenyatta supporter and he was lulled and fooled and bamboozled and tricked into supporting Ruto, who he valiantly supported. And now, after being removed from the committee of, finance, whatever committee, all of a sudden he's telling us now Ruto has betrayed him. Could it be pressure from his backyard? Because he's from the central province. And as you know, guys, Murima is not entertaining anybody, anyone, or anything that has to do with Ruto. So could it be that Ndindi Nyororo is just, he read the writing on the wall and for the sake of his political career, he better align himself with Wamunyoro perhaps in order to survive politically in the foreseeable future. We don't know. I really found his press conference inconsequential. I don't think majority of Kenyans really care about what's going on with him. But nevertheless, that's the another one who has left Ruto's camp. Will Ichungwa cross the bridge? Because Ichungwa is probably the only one left from Murima who is still backing this regime. But yeah, there are several others, but Ichungwa is one of the main ones. Nyororo was another one, but he has left. So we're about to see. Again, yesterday I touched on, was it yesterday? Not yesterday, the day before yesterday, a few days ago, I talked about the case of Nduta. The young lady, Margaret Nduta, who was caught up in Vietnam. I guess she was on transit, but she was, arrested by the Vietnamese official and found to have cocaine in her luggage. So she was detained, tried, and sentenced to death. As you know, the laws in Vietnam are very stringent. They are very, very, very. They take their law enforcement seriously. So she was supposed to be executed a few days ago, on the 16th. Today we are on the 20th, I believe, and we haven't had any word about her being executed or not. So far, we had rumors that, Ruto, through, I don't know, the Thailand ambassador, they were trying to persuade the Vietnamese to halt the execution of Nduta, but they will not have it. They will not stop. So I guess Uhuru Kenyatta had to intervene, made a call, some phone calls. We still don't know. There's no really, I don't know what's happening. We still don't know what, if she has been executed or not. No one has mentioned anything. It's been quiet. There are rumors that Uhuru made the call and the Vietnamese heeded to Uhuru's call, which begs the question. If Uhuru Kenyatta can make the call and the Vietnamese can actually respect his call rather than take Ruto's call, who's really running the country? As you know, Uhuru Kenyatta's residence is a few meters away from the State House in Nairobi. So that tells you something. But anyway, we shall also just talk about that. Akeo Foundation, I see you. Karibu sana, Chief Negus. Karibu sana. Nice seeing you. Haven't seen you for a while. Okay, it's time to get some new. My headphones are like a trip. Okay, let me fix it real quick. Sorry, guys. Ay. I need new headphones. This is ridiculous. This is absolutely ridiculous. But karibuni. I'm giving you a few minutes so we can get in and discuss whatever we discuss. If you want us to discuss what Margaret Wanjiru, not what Margaret Wanjiru, when Margaret Wandet, and Nduta's execution, we'll discuss that. Anything goes. We'll talk about what we need to talk about because kuja leo Afrique 24, leo Nyabaya will recruit you to Sirkal. Why don't Leo Nyabaya can come over here so we can talk. I don't have a problem going to Afrique 24. I just don't know what time they come on. One day they come in, the next day they don't come in. The next time I go there, they're playing have a show about football. So I'm confused, okay? But whatever the case, he's more than welcome to be here or whatever the case is. Hakuna shida. But I don't know about recruitment in Serikal. I will not work for any political party in Kenya, whether it's the opposition, the so-called opposition, or the people who are involved in the government. I will not be part of it because Kenya is being run by a bunch of criminals. I'm sorry. We do not have a government. We do not have a government in Kenya. There's no government in Kenya. These government officials are basically criminals, okay? Karibu sana. Chief is by the way, it's great that you use headphones and not use dangerous Bluetooth headsets. Oh, I didn't know. Yeah, when you use the Bluetooth, it kind of messes up the whole thing. It's just your audio. It kind of affects your audio. So yeah. But anyway, yeah. So karibuni sana. I want to start with let me see where I want to start. Mabri karibu. Let's talk about Ruto and Murkomen launching issuance. Okay, let's talk about that. Actually, let me drop a link so anyone who wants to talk about anything, whether it's Shima Riam or Mabri, you're free to come and tell me about it. What's going on? I don't know what Murkomen is launching. He's always Murkomen and this Ruto. They're always launching something new. I don't know what they're launching, and everything they launch does not work. So I'm telling you, this government is a mess. It's not even that. The radiation levels are. Oh, okay. I didn't know that. Thank you for the. Yes, Chief Negus. Thank you. for letting me know. So Mabry is telling me that Ruto and Murkomen are launching issuance of free IDs, or they're launching the IDs, free IDs, so not insurance, sorry. They're issuing free IDs. At first, they told us that they're going to charge you of this ID. Now they're telling us it's free. Which is it? What's going on? Okay. What's going on with this whole ID thing? I have no idea. Like I said, this Ruto government is confused. Not only are they confused, they have failed flat. They can't govern. I'm sorry, they cannot govern. These people are grossly incompetent. Okay. And I still don't know why they're in power. There are people who there's rumors that the goal is to remove Ruto. I don't know, the Kenyatas through their associates. They're planning on removing Ruto by April. Maybe through a military coup d'etat or just have a popular revolution. Then the military can come in and remove Ruto. I don't know. There's a lot of talks that Ruto is expected to be out by the end of April. So I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. I have no idea. This is just what people are saying. Some quarters are saying that Ruto will be removed by then. Shoot. Actually, these earphones are just a mess. But yeah. Anyway, back to that. So, okay. Right. Let's start with what's happening. What's going on? Missing Brian Odhiambo, the officers. What is happening? Brian Odhiambo was lost. Okay, I see that. Okay. Now, let's start with the state of Kenya. Now, we have a clear understanding. Let's just review. Today, I want us to look at solutions because we can all agree that this Ruto government is not working. That's something that we can agree upon. Nothing is working, whether it's the judiciary. If you want to remove Ruto, I mean, if you want to have a complaint about anybody in his administration and you go to through the judiciary, you cannot get anything, active. If you try to sponsor a bill through your representative or a motion to removing, you cannot do it through the legislative body, okay? They're all bought. We cannot, of course, have no say on the cabinet ministry, whether we don't like them, whether it's Murkomen or whoever it is, we cannot remove them, okay? Because Ruto can care less. He doesn't want to listen to the people. He wants to do his own thing. We cannot turn to the opposition because we do not have an opposition, okay? I mean, I saw Raila Odinga wearing a kanzu somewhere, I don't know where, saying that he has read the Quran. I mean, this conmanship, he's taking it to another level, okay? We cannot rely on the Azimio or the Martha Karuas or the Fred Matiang'i or the Kalonzos to be the opposition. These guys are not the opposition. There's no solutions. So what is the realistic, practical, pragmatic steps that we Kenyans can take to actually change course? Because it seems like everyone is resigned to this idea that let's wait up to 2027 so we can go to the ballot and cast a vote, and hopefully the IBC that has been handpicked by Ruto shall count our votes and declare our candidate of choice, which is basically another Ruto-sponsored candidate or part of the political elites, shall defeat Ruto. I mean, that's what we are hoping on. That's where we are. We are hoping that 2027 will come 2027. We shall go to the ballot box and cast a vote, and Ruto shall be removed in 2027. That's basically what we are hoping for, okay? But I'm saying I don't think that's a realistic way of removing Ruto. I don't see it. Chief is saying the IDs thing is a slow invasion, and then you should see how some Kenyans are supporting it. Supporting it, saying we are all Africans, no sense of self-preservation. Are you referring to the giving of identifications IDs to the Somali people, like the Somalis who are coming to Kenya, who are going to be used for the voting purposes, like you had Aden Dwele said last week. Is that what we're talking about? Because somebody come in. Mabri, please come in and explain to us. The Ninio is in the link there. Link nimekuwekea hapo kuja tueleze. The link is up there. The link is on the chat. You can come explain to us about this ID thing. Okay, there it is. The ID is there. Meanwhile, while we still wait for anyone who wants to come in, if you're not ready to come in, that's fine too. Tutaendelea. What's his face? Let me see. There's a bunch of things that I saved here that I wanted to talk about. I don't even know. Hey, I want to read something. Now, this has something to do with the KDF. Remember, now that we are looking for solutions, let's talk about solutions, because we spend a lot of time talking about what's wrong with Kenya. Everything is wrong with Kenya, okay? As long as government is concerned. Everything is wrong with Kenya, okay? Whether it's the politicians, whatever, everything is good. Okay, so Mabri, thank you. Chief Negus is saying, yes, Somali and other East Africans, as per what I'm hearing, Burundians, South Sudanese, oh, okay. Yes, absolutely. So, another angle, I want to read something that Gaito wrote yesterday or the day before, whatever the case is, mentioning about KDF, because I see some people are saying that, they won't mind if the military took over. And I always tell you, don't think just because the military takes over, you shall get a Traore. You will not get an Ibrahim Traore. It's not guaranteed that you'll get an Ibrahim Traore once Ruto leaves office, if he's taken out by the military. If they take him out, it's either there's a good possibility we'll have another Museveni. We'll have a Museveni in Kenya. Okay, so let's not be all excited about this whole idea that military taking over is a good thing necessarily. Okay, in Burkina Faso, it just happens with the Sahel nations. Yes, it's not a, democratically elected, leadership, but they are lucky enough that whoever took out the presidents that was put there, the puppet president that was there by the French, is actually doing something that to benefit the people. That's why Ibrahim Traore is so much loved in all the Sahel nations, at least the three of them, Mali, Burkina Faso, and the other one. I forgot which one. Forgot the third one. Is it Guinea or something? I forgot. Okay? So military coup d'etat does not necessarily mean that you will get the kind of leadership that you want. It can go the other way. You can have a Museveni, because Museveni did the same thing when he removed Obote, and we ended up with Museveni since 1982 till now, 19 something. I don't know. Museveni has been there forever. Okay. Eric Ayaga is saying, Karibu sana Eric Ayaga. Kenya has a very stable government. It's only persons with unstable minds that are sick about our government. Hi, Eric Ayaga, I don't know whether to take you seriously. I don't know if you're trolling. Yeah, but that's an interesting, funny observation. But it's observation nevertheless. Okay, so hey, whatever. If you feel like things are working in Kenya, okay, yeah, more power to you. I don't know what to say. I'll just say this, Eric Ayaga. You are in the minority in that view, okay? You are in the minority. Majority of Kenyans know that the Kenyan government is not stable at all. Even with the handshake by your idol Raila Odinga. Let's read Gaitho's tweet here, which he wrote about the KDF. I think it kind of highlights what's going on, and it gives an interesting take on how this, military might not be, the best way to go about removing Ruto. Because yes, we want Ruto out, but we also have to ask ourselves, if we remove Ruto out, then what? We have to have a clear plan. I've always told you guys what I think when Ruto is removed. Let's read about Gaito's tweet very quickly. Okay, Chief Negus is saying, agreed, Ruto has stuffed the military with his people, so we can't be sure about where the military generals' allegiances lie. This government takedown has to be people-led. All right, Eric Ayaga is joining me. Eric, just give me a minute. Let me read this tweet, then I will let you give your view. So let's read it very quickly. Gaito here is saying, KDF is the most corrupt institution in Kenya. Now that the KDF are in circulation for an alleged coup, I told you guys there's rumors that Ruto might be removed in April, whether it's by an organized people revolution or by the KDF, okay? I told you, KDF before Ruto, I don't know how it's what is the top generals, who are they comprised with, but before, I showed you a video, and I might play today too, where Martin Gatia, rest in peace, told us how, and he named the name of the general in 2007, 2013, 2017. There's a general who was a very close friend, comes from the community with Kenyatta, helped Kenyatta rig the election. So it seems that there's a pattern here. The military are always involved in Kenya's elections. That's why a lot of people are questioning that what was General Ogola's role in 2022 when he showed up at, is it KICC Bomas, okay? Though he showed up with civilian clothes, we still don't know what he was there to do. Of course, when he died, then questions arose. People are asking questions. Why did Raila attend the Gor Mahia Shemeji Derby instead of going to the funeral? Why did Kenyatta go to his funeral? Those are the questions that we can answer later. But let me read this quickly, then I bring in Ayaga, because I know he's there and he wants to give his view. So let me read this very quickly. Now that KDF are in circulation for an alleged coup, I'll draft some few points to ensure proposals for them to take over the running of the country never materialize. KDF has the most corrupt thugs in the country. They just bribe media to suppress cases of the rot in the institution. There's a scandal where they bought crop dusters modified to be fighter jets for the US. That's just a tip of the iceberg. When they deployed to Kismayu to deal with Al-Shabaab, they went there to engage in illicit trade of charcoal and sugar imports. Individuals who've been seconded from KDF to civilian roads have ended up looting and committing unimaginable atrocities. There's a Brigadier Hussein Ali who staged 2007-2008 post-election violence. And there was Mohammed Badi who looted Nairobi to its deathbed. Okay, let me finish here. Let me see, where is it going? They demolished all semblance of civilian freedoms and liberties by destroying Uhuru Park Podium, our shrine of democracy where the 2010 Constitution was promulgated. That was very deliberate. Major General John Koimo was exposed by Russian embassy, okay, the Russian general, remember that the one that died, as engaging in bioweapons programs by the United States to the detriment of the Kenyan people, using Kenyans as guinea pigs and spreading harmful pathogens in the country, okay? Major Abel Rotich was exposed as heading an abduction unit located on the 21st floor of the Coop Bank building, the team behind all the enforced disappearance and extrajudicial killings. KDF are dangerous thugs who should be nowhere near civilian power. All their officials who approved the deployment of officers to civilian streets last week against the Constitution should be discharged from duty. This is nothing new. And also, ladies and gentlemen, the JFK files came out that Trump released, and it shows that actually CIA has an office in Nairobi. So yeah. But anyway, let me bring in Ayaga. Ayaga has something to tell us. Ayaga, karibu sana. Mambo namna gani?
Niko poa, uko aje?
Niko sawa. Niambie, what is new?
Una support coup ya military.
No, si support coup ya military. Nataka coup ikwae popular revolution, watu watoe Ruto, wananchi wamtoe. Si ninio, sio wanajeshi.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I'm seeing you are reading a Twitter of a sick people like Gaido. Gaido is sick. That guy has a mental problem. Where on earth? And people like Njiru. Where on earth, my friend? You can pray that your country have a military coup. Who told you that if the military coup happens in Kenya today, there is a unit in that military itself? Who said? Or we will have a military coup, then military start fighting each other, like what is happening in South Sudan. Let us just sometimes be serious. Don't hate your country up to a point where you pray bad to happen in your country. You can't have a problem in your home and choose to burn home and go and take a refuge from other people's home because you hate everybody at your home, or you hate your father as the head of that home. Now the children choose to destroy home and then they run out to other people's home and take refuge, my friend. You cannot burn your own house to go and stay in other people's house. Your house is house. Either it is bad, you have to make it ordered. That is what our people should be told. Yes, we may have the challenges, but when we were going to election, we knew all these challenges. So Kenyans should not regret. And now some people want to take it as if it is upon Raila Odinga, incumbent upon Raila Odinga to fight them for them. Raila owed the Mount Kenya people nothing. He owes them zero commitment, nothing. In this country, Raila Odinga owes you nothing. Raila Odinga has represented himself.
Wait, Ngoja. The problems we are talking about, I'm not talking about Mount Kenya. I'm talking about Kenya in general. I'm not saying that these problems that we have is only limited to Mount Kenya. The problems that we face, gharama ya maisha, extrajudicial killings, all this stuff, it's not affecting only Mount Kenya. Okay? Of course, now that what we are being told by these political elites is that Mount Kenya has been imetolewa kwa serikali. That's why you're falling into this Raila has to fight for that's not the discussion here. I understand what you're saying. And in fact, I would like to, since you want to talk about Raila Odinga, I mean, you had his friend in that funeral who was talking about, he has been winning all these elections and he has been denied and all this stuff, okay? My question is this. If he has been denied all this election, why has he not always fought to the end to see through that he becomes president? For example, 2017, Ali, we know he was rigged out of it, and the people made him president. Remember? I don't know if you are there in Uhuru Park. I was there. And we made him president. Then, alifanya nini? He turned his back. Okay? So why is he still offering himself? And by the way, who told him to offer himself? We didn't tell him to come offer himself to come rescue Kenya. He can go to Opoda and relax. We don't need him. If anything, he's a liability at this point. Go ahead, Eyal.
Okay, thank you. The same way you are saying who told him to offer himself is the same way he has a brain to choose which side he should be. Nobody should dictate for him on which position he's taking as an individual.
Yeah, but we have rejected him as a people. But we have rejected rejected him as a people.
Exactly. If you have rejected him, why you bother with somebody who you have rejected? Let him roam around and do whatever he want to do. And let him make. Who said that a rejected person has no right to do whatever he want to do? That is what we are telling.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying this. We don't want to hear him talk about, I offered myself to save the situation, and we've already told him, we don't need you to offer yourself. We already were going to remove Ruto. We don't need you to come here and handshake and broad-based nonsense. We want you to go to a Opoda, sit down with Mama Ada and eat mbota, okay, and relax. Not coming to tell us that you broad-based. Okay, go ahead.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So let us just let me say one thing, and I will be brief. Let us stop this notion of we should have a coup in this republic. Kenya is a ethnic kind of nation, and it is very easy to sway Kenyans in ethnic line. Ruto might be bad, but remember, I come from an ethnic group that can be easily corrupt. Their mind can be corrupted and start a civil war. A civil war is very easy to start, but it is not easy to stop. So let us not go that route and let us not go that trajectory. I told you, and I'm keeping on repeating. Ruto will go, but only in 2027 after the election. You know, the people who are making the loud noise. We were here telling them about Ruto, how Ruto is bad and how everything. So when they now come to realize and join the forces with us, they should not lecture us. Wametupata huku. Tuliwatangulia. We knew he is bad. So they should not come here and now lecturing us. So if if you are 35 years old and you realize something when somebody was at 20 years old, you don't blame somebody who realized that at 20 years of age. You should blame your brain and mentality and development of your brain. If your brain develops slowly, you learn slowly. If it develops, you do things fast. But the fact remains simple. He was bad from the word go. He was bad as early as 2008 when Raila sacked him as Minister of Agriculture. He was bad when Kibaki sacked him as a Minister of Higher Education. You remember? He has been bad when he was Deputy President. And all that they choose to vote for him. So let us not now hate our country because of the choices we made. We still have time to make the same choices in 2027.
Okay.
But let us not wish our country to go down on the military way, because the military are people. They also have their objectives. One will take power, try to oppress others. Those others will also start fighting. And who will be suffering? The Kenyan people are the one who will suffer. It is better you suffer under democracy than suffering under a martial law where you cannot even gather. We can't even be here to say what is going on in our country. So let us stop being naive and being that so much hatred to this country. Ruto is son of this nation. Yes, we made a mistake. Yes, those who made mistake. Walitupata because we are minority. Walitupata kwa sababu tulimkataa kitambo. We were minority. Now the majority who voted for him have now joined us. Now we are together. So
Okay.
the only solution is to call for election in 2027 and let Kenyans use their brain to vote.
Okay. I wanted to say this, Ayaga. I don't know why. You can, just because somebody voted for somebody, let's say just because they voted for Ruto, whoever voted for him, does not mean that they cannot change their mind. For example, if you voted for Raila Odinga and Raila Odinga became president and Raila Odinga started doing some things that are not constitutional, he's breaking the law, he's doing all these things that Ruto is doing. Now, it is not fair for me to come here and say, you voted for Raila Odinga, so stop complaining because you voted for Raila Odinga. Okay? Because you found us here. We were for Ruto, but you voted for Raila Odinga. So just kula yo ujeuri wako because ulipigia Raila Odinga. No. You have the right to change your mind. I'm trying to add Brother Benson here. I don't know what's going on. All I'm saying is this. He's in. Oh crap! Sorry, Brother Benson. I keep on. I'm adding you, and you are unaenda chini kidogo. Okay, you are. I think you're there. But I'm saying this. Ayaga, you still there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, so the point I'm trying. Okay, let me add Brother Benson. Brother Benson, are you there? What's going on? Okay. Your device is not connected, Brother Benson. Well, what I'm saying is this, Ayaga. If we go to the election, if somebody votes for whoever they voted for and they won the presidency or they won the seat, when that leader starts messing up, you can't go and say, wewe ulipigia mtu hapa na akaharibu inchi, so it is your fault. No. Maybe they fell a victim to the same thing the lies Ruto was telling. Maybe at that point they were just, you have the right to change your mind. I can vote for you, Ayaga, to become the chief diocese elder bishop of Kisumu Central. But when you become chief, you start mbaloangi looking at other people's wives. Does that mean I'm to blame because I chose you? I chose you to become the diocese? No. So, you see the thing. So let's not and I'll give you a quickly so I can bring Mabry. So what I'm trying to say is, let us not demonize people who voted for Ruto in 2022 just because Ruto is messing up. Okay? Because when Ruto is messing up, he's messing up for every Kenyan. The same way, even if Raila was to win, you can't start demonizing Raila supporters they were voting for Raila for whatever reason. But if Raila is messing up, he's messing up for the whole country. So that's why I'm saying it is not helpful to blame the voters. The voters were given the options. It's Ruto ama Raila. Wakachagua Ruto. Ruto akashinda, Ruto akafika huko akaanza kuharibu maneno. So usianze kusema ati nyinyi ndio mlimpigia, sasa it is your nyinyi ndio mmefanya hii shida yote imekuja hapa kwa sababu mmeka Ruto hapo. Because they didn't know. If they knew that Ruto was going to mess up the country, I'm pretty sure they wouldn't vote for him. But they didn't know. That's the argument I'm making. You can, then I'll chime in, then I'll bring Mabry, who has been waiting for a while. So keep it brief. 1 minute.
Oh, okay. What I will say is very simple. They knew. So we can't say they didn't know. And number two, I'm not saying we should demonize them. They should accept, number one, say we own our problem. You cannot baptize somebody before repenting. They must own. They say, yes, we made a mistake, but trying to take the blame to somebody else, a common mwananchi and his party, is wrong. It's also wrong, because the same people are also giving us that problem. They are saying it is Raila and ODM people who are making mistakes. They made mistakes. They should at least own that mistake. For us, we will also own our mistake when the time comes. But for now, we have election time in 2027. We are yet to vote for him. Either he will go or he will not go is none of our business. What we are saying, we need to have a stable country, at least where we can have such a discussion, but not bullet and shellings and military planes running all over the country. I think the people of South Sudan cannot have the opportunity we are having today to talk about the bad governance. We need a stable country so that at least we discuss the stability of this country, the economy of this country, the bad governance of this country, rather than having a country of running battles where nobody have no shelter to even have peace to discuss what is going on in this country. Number two, if removing a president who is elected by people, democratically elected like Ruto, what if the military take over and declare a martial law? Do we think it will be easy for us to remove them? Or we will have another 30, 60 years? We will die. We are now young. We will be old people fighting for military. Where will our kids be? So before we make some comments in this platform, we must, number one, you need a country to stay in and then fight peacefully within that country. That is my worry, and that is what I'm saying. So the people who made that mistake should own the mistake. They should not take the mistake into another person's door. And the person who is making his own mistakes now should also own his own mistakes. He should not be added another mistake, and he should not own other people's mistake, because all of us, we have mistakes, and now we are saying we have learned our lessons as young people. Now let us come together as young people. Let us don't even bother about talking about this kind of stewards, stalwarts, or this kind of orphans, or this kind of remnants. We should actually come as young people from all walks of life, religion, different political party, and have a discussion and say this country belongs to us, because we still expect to stay in this country for about 20, 30, 50, 60 years to come. We will be here and we will call this country home, and we need to have a peaceful and a stable country. We can wait for 3 years to remove the problem rather than taking 6 months to destroy our country and cause chaos permanently, something that can cause us so many years to deal with, than waiting and kuvumilia for about 2 years to take Ruto out of power. Sometimes even the Bible say patience gives. If we are not patient, if we are too much impatient, we will rush, we will make mistakes that our kids and our grandkids will live to remember. But if we are patient, we will tell our children one day, we made a decision, we stay patient. When election came, we removed bad leadership and we made a great country. And that is my word.
Okay. Let me bring Mabri. Before you bring Mabri, let me just say this. Ayaga, the Constitution says if the person we voted for is not advancing our interest, we have the right to remove them. Okay, anytime. We don't. It doesn't say that we have to wait till 2027 to remove them. So the Constitution is very clear. We can either bring a motion of impeachment, or we the people can actually exercise our Article 1, where we exercise our power directly. Mabri, let me bring you in. Sorry, Ayaga was giving us his wonderful views on the issue. I'll give you about 2 minutes because I see Brother Benson is also there, very ready. Hey, so Mabri, karibu sana. What do you think?
Asante sana. I hope I'm audible enough.
Yes, you are.
Thank you. First, let me say good evening to everyone who is watching the show, probably to Ayaga and Brother Benson, and to you, Mr. Kenyan Revolutionary. It's been a moment. I've not been here, but I'll just take on immediately. I want to challenge Ayaga because amepeana some good comments, but first of all, I want us to talk about why Baba's decisions matter, and he cannot be an individual on this matter. You know, I'll take you back to 2022 when the High Court was disqualifying the BBI. You remember what they said was the president cannot separate himself from the presidency. Now, when it comes to Baba, although some may want us to believe that Baba does not really matter in Kenya, is just an individual, we have to acknowledge the fact that Baba is a party leader of a political party. Now, Baba, being a political party leader, of course, a party comprises of it is like a binding tool between people who are members of the party, and there's another leadership channel, like there's the leadership of the ODM and everything. Now, one thing we have to know, in a political campaign, if I don't vote for you, it does not really mean I rejected you. It is only that I did not resonate with your manifesto, or rather, you are not convincing enough. So we did not reject Baba. Perhaps he was not convincing enough. And if you remember a few days ago when SK Macharia was speaking, he himself acknowledged the fact that Baba was not so serious come 2022 because they tried all they could, wakamwonyesha all loopholes and everything. But now, let me tell you, Baba garnered a lot of votes from people, and those are the people who feel betrayed. You remember, according to our Kenyan constitution, the parliament is set up into two sides. There is the majority side and the minority side. Of course, the Azimio constituted the minority then. Baba was their their flag bearer. That means whatever decision he makes affects every other person in that side of Azimio who are supposed to be like holding the government accountable. Now, the second thing I want also to correct Ayaga why Kenya is not divided into tribal lines. You know, many of times you hear these tribal politics, they are sold by politicians. It is only this time when you hear pia sisi wajaka tuko kwa gava because baba amefanya handshake, but are you really in government? When they go do a handshake between 2 3 people and they start preaching the gospel of we are uniting, who are they uniting? And it is there they are there saying tunaunganisha nchi. You know, that's how they sell their tribal politics to us. I'm not surprised, and I'm not trying to implicate you, but I remember when you started talking, you are like, watu wa Mount Kenya wakaya ndio walifanya. Kenya is not a Mount Kenya caucus. You know, everyone is responsible. Now, the other thing, you don't try to tell us that we should wait until 2027. The Kenyan constitution is very clear on grounds on which a president can be impeached. And I can tell you, in Article 145, a president can be impeached on gross violation of the constitution and any other law. Now, also, he can be impeached when there are serious reasons to believe the president has committed a crime under national or international law. In full knowledge of that, I want to tell you, we were in this Kenya when people are being abducted and the president says, hawajui nani ana abduct watu. Isn't that a failure to his people, or rather to the nation? That's a failure number one. Last year, June, the Gen Zs waliandamana wakaenda parliament na wakaenda na hiyo mez, which is a very key nini in parliament. By doing that, they disqualified the entire parliament, including the government. So it does not really mean when Ruto goes, we must fight. No. And I'd hate to meet someone who thinks that way. Perhaps if Ruto goes, we might be the African USA, or rather, you know, because if we don't resonate with whatever Ninis make, with whatever bills anapitisha, whatever decisions he's making, of course, is selling us out, you know. So I want us to believe that Kenya can have good governance, and it does not necessarily have to get to 2027. Tushaji pronounce, we've decided we don't want to take it anymore. So we don't want to take it anymore, and so be it. Now, I want to talk on a very crucial matter. I'm trying to hurry so as to make sure I don't keep you guys waiting. Now, when we talk of the military coup d'etat, we have to first analyze this issue with precaution, because let me say this: the president of this nation is the commander in chief of all armed forces, including the KDF and so on. Now, we have to look at it in this way. If that rumor has already gotten to the Mwananchi, it probably means he has a clue of what's happening. What should we see him doing? You know, last time when he implicated Gachagua in funding Gen Zs, he impeached him. Why are we not seeing him take an action? Again, what gave Kenyans the idea that the military is trying to orchestrate a coup? It was Raila Odinga when he was saying he did not betray Kenyans, he was saving the president from the military. Now, we were here when the military were being used to kill young people in the streets. I was in the streets. I went all the way to almost the parliament. How those were nini, Kenyan military nini shooting at us directly. You know. Now
Mabry, was it military or was it police and foreign
okay,
were
this is
Uganda?
what happened. Let me just explain. This is what happened when we were trying to push the police to almost the parliament.
Mhm.
They released the army from the KDF offices. Whoever was following on the screens could see them coming out, you know. And now that's when people started warning us who are in the streets. But what I'm trying to say is, was the army, was the KDF the one trying to get to parliament or the Kenyan people? That
That's
is
a
my
good question.
question.
Okay.
It
Shikilia
was
hapo.
the Kenyan question to the
Okay.
Kenyan people. So, just to finish, I think this story of military coup d'etat is a strategy being used by the political class to buy time. You know, when Kenyans hear that the military are planning, you know, they buy time. They are like, yeah, let's wait, let's see what they are going to do. And he's given himself to up to April. If they don't do, probably the next finance bill will come in, and before we know it, it will be too late to impeach even the president, according to the per the constitution.
Yeah.
I think
I don't
I
think
can.
I don't think the constitution gives a timeline when you can impeach the president. You can impeach him anytime, even one day before the elections. But very good point. Let me bring in Brother Benson. Brother Benson, by the way, I saw Gladys Wanga and Amele is in your neighborhood. So I don't know if you can reach them and so we can ask them questions here or what. But Karibu.
No. I don't have any contact of any of their personnel on how they can be reached.
Nice background, by the way. Go ahead.
Thank you so much. We are trying our level best.
I see.
Can see my good brother Ayaga is here. Ayaga, we always interact with him. Yesterday we were with him, and Mabry too. I'm also very glad to be here. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing good.
Yeah, so swali ni gani? Nini nakusumbua?
No, just what they've been saying. Ayaga is telling us that military might not be the good option, which I agree, because even if you have a military coup d'etat, we might end up with, it's either if you're lucky, you can get Ibrahim Traore.
Yeah.
If you're unlucky, you'll get a Museveni. So, so it's not usually the best deal. Then what else were we talking about? Mabry makes a very good point that maybe this is this rumor of the military, taking over by April might be something that has been conjured up by the political class to buy time, so the people can be like, wacha tungoje tuone kama military itachukua ninio. That way, to buy them time that way. Then Ayaga was also telling us that, the people who voted for Ruto should not be complaining. They should apologize, because we are here because of them. They voted for Ruto. They rejected Raila. Raila has always been offering himself to bring solutions, and he has also offered himself again. And I was asking him, why is he keep on offering himself? Why people are saying, Baba Weka to, relax. We have this, we as a people. You don't have to offer yourself. We can remove this Ruto by ourselves. Don't come here, don't be in the mix, okay?
Yeah.
So that's what it is. And so we are trying to tell him that, Mabry was trying to tell him that, Baba is always involving himself and now has actually pretty much joined the government. So that's the discussion. You can take it to, or if you have any agenda that you want to talk about, you can also bring it here. We shall finish everything.
And I would want to take an independent mind looking at about election, especially why do we vote? Yeah. Okay. When you offer your candidature to the people, which means you have to sell yourself and tell the people what do you want to do for them. And in that voting, or when you are selling your policies and talking to people, telling them, giving you a vision, because when you come in and bring in your blueprint, your blueprint will give you a picture of what we are going to have in case you become the president. And it's a competition. And how is this competition is won? This competition is won through the ballots. And whoever has the majority will take the day. That one does not mean that you are rejected. If it's voting is done the normal way or is done with transparency, it means that what you are offering, or the package that you are offering, as compared to what your competitor was offering, his is a bit better than yours. So maybe they're communicating, you ought to have packaged it well. I don't think it's a rejection. If we are looking in the transparency, election that is done in a transparent manner, there's no rejection. That is one. Then at the same time, if you come to election, especially in our Kenyan context, I'm very independent in my thinking. This is what I might agree, or you might agree with me. When you come, and I will disagree with Ayaga that people have rejected. Nobody has rejected anybody, because, and I want to look at this with all that has taken place in our political landscape, which is designed systematically to make us vote the same way. Because if there are issues that are making you or are making election not to be transparent, and these are issues that you are fighting for, how do you solve them? In an organization, we are working in organization, and we apply the SWOT analysis. And what is the SWOT analysis? You look at the weakness of another company and you capitalize on that. Yeah. So after realizing your weakness, and we've realized our weakness, that our election system is not working well, and now you come in and let us agree as a country, let us make our electoral function. Why does it take us so long? Yeah. Then we go to another election, we have the same cycle. Maandamano comes, people die, we have opposition in government and government in opposition, and it goes that way. Why are we not solving those issues? Yeah. I'm independent, and we want to look at it, kwa sababu hiyo ndio jana nilikuwa naongea kuhusu mapinduzi ya akili. Yeah, tukue na mapinduzi ya akili. Ni kwa sababu gani? Jambo moja tunairudia mara mingi. Now this is not for only the people, the system itself. We're not blaming anybody. We are talking about the entire system. What is making us not to solve it? And you come and realize that how many times have we had these commissions immediately after election, and we identify the things that ails us immediately after election, and we don't solve them. Why? Why are we talking about, like, if Ayaga is talking about rejection? Yes, if we know the reason why that rejection comes, and we are also always in the government, or we are also working together to bring Kenyan people together. So we can bring Kenyan people on the peace issue, but to deal the issues that make us always to look that peace immediately after election, why are you not dealing with that? So those are the issues that if we are looking them in detailed, and we are looking at election, so is the system, is not even the Right Honorable Prime Minister or President William Ruto, is how the system has been designed. And after that, the narratives that it's usually being brought to us, and we go with those narratives. So kama tunaweza kuwa na mapinduzi ya akili na tuanze kufikiria ni vitu gani ambazo sisi tunataka, si vitu ambavyo wasiasa wanataka. If we Kenyan voters, what do we want? After realizing what do we want, then we dictate to them, this is the right way. Then things will be solved. But if we continue like this, the system we will be doing that. So that one with Ayaga, I tend to disagree on how, because the issues, that are involving election, we are not solving them, but we postpone them. That is one. And again, something that also I can talk about even election when somebody is elected. At what point that do we say that you're in government? Everybody's in government. You can bring everybody in government. That is, it is a constitutional right, even for Baba himself to talk with President William Ruto and William Ruto talking to him. The constitutions allow that. But what you have to look at is there delivery for the people? That is the main thing for the country. It doesn't matter who becomes. Are people delivering? If to say today Mbadi is the expert, is the expert, that he's in government handling our treasury, yes. How does his handling of treasury reflect on the people of Kenya? Or if you say that you're a community that coming from there and is there now, you are very happy you're in the government, how does it affect your life? Are you receiving the services that the government should give you? If no, then also there you need to ask yourself. That is another thing. Aga will disagree with me on that because this is my own independent thinking. Another thing, we've talked about the military. Sometimes it's not fair for the military to come in to lead the country. Yeah, it depends under what circumstances or under which situation they are coming in. For instance, if you look at Burkina Faso, right now, if you tell them about military taking over, they will support it 100%. Do you know why? Because they are seeing the fruits of them coming in. Yeah, as compared to other countries that military has taken over. But in our case, do you see a scenario whereby if that one happens, we can match ourselves with people like Burkina Faso? Yeah, in our case, do you see that? Yeah. So, and another thing that was said about the same military, that Baba was saying that he came in to save president because the military wanted to take over. You have to ask yourself, who brought this military to the street? Yeah, who brought them into the street? If the president was very much aware that the military wanted to take over, could he allow the military to come? He was going to lose his presidency. Yeah, but at what point? Because such like the comments that the Right Honorable Prime Minister made, those are very sensitive to the public. If you say that the military wanted to take over the country, yeah, what does the message does it bring to people, bearing in mind the situation where the country is right now, whereby there's when you look at the popularity or even the President Ruto rating him with the public, they're not seeing eye to eye. There's that gap between him and the public right now. And you say such a thing, what do you think can happen? Does it make his presidency more stronger or weaker? Because that one tells you that he failed.
Yeah, even Raila said Simba ako na meno. Ni kibogoyo.
But for that, to me, I think in our country context, I don't think that the military would be the best way to go. Because if you look at the countries that the military has taken, some of them, they've not recovered. Yeah. So for me, I feel that military was not a way to go. And Mabry has talked about President William Ruto. I think as much as we might not agree with the leadership of President William Ruto, there are so many ways in which we can remove the president. Yeah. And I believe the best way, and this is a lesson that now we've learned, instead of Kenyan people complaining about the president, one of the measures that now people should take, and this one will correct the political narrative that we usually have, let us mobilize. And how do you mobilize? Let us have as many votes as we can. Let young people run for those elective seats, because at the same time we are complaining about the president. Who voted for president? President was voted by people of Kenya. Yeah. So the best way, to me, I feel the best way is us to mobilize those who have different view, or those who feel like the administration of President William Ruto is not doing justice to Kenya. And how can you remove it from power? Through a constitutional process. If you feel that the referendum is the best way, yes. If you feel there's any other ways that Constitution allows you, or the Constitution has given you power to do it, also the best. But let us not do it in a way that we can lose our country, and to build it back might take us years and years. That is what I think. And another thing also, when you look at our election, when we talk of our demographics, our demographics revolves around tribe. Yeah, there is no way that we will go to election whereby we have issues that categorize people based on speciality. Like when we talk of you having a message for evangelical, or you are having a message for Christians, those are not there. You are having message for schooled people, or people who have not the colleges, the people with all. We don't have that. Our first issue that we usually go to is our tribe and region. That's what defines our election, and that's also what defines who is going to be in the presidency. And how does this one determine? This one is determined by the number of votes that you can garner. And that's why you see all members, every party that is being formed, they must solidify the areas they are coming from, and those parties must be identified by their strongholds, is when they come and look at the national. So until that time, we will have a clear message on what we want to do for Kenyans, not pegging it on the region, parties, and personality. Then we will. And this one still brings you back to the system, on how the system has been made. That is my contribution.
Thank you. Eric Ayaga, I don't know if you are there. Brother Benson have disagreed with your assessment on various issues. I don't know if you are listening. Ayaga, uko bado ama unalala?
Yes, Nico.
Yeah. Do you have any response to what? Do you have any response from what Mabry and Brother Benson said about, hiyo mambo yako ya kusema, whatever the case is, unaweza kujitetea?
Exactly. lazima nijitetee. So what I was saying is very simple. Let us, we can't have a responsible leaders when we are not responsible citizens. That's my simple word. We can't have a responsible leaders if we are not responsible as citizens. Why? We have to take responsibility, even at your home, even back at your house. If there is a mistake, you have to own that mistake as a parent, and the kid must be own his or her mistake as a kid. Is when the home will run smoothly. But the same way we always want to avert our responsibility, that's where we also end up having wrong leaders. So me, I don't have a problem with whatever they are saying. That is very good. It is a very good discussion, but we must own our mistakes and we must be responsible. That's number one. Number
Ayaga,
two,
before you go to number two, Ayaga, when you say responsible, what do you mean? How do you own your mistake? If you went to vote and you voted for Ruto and Ruto won and Ruto started doing all these terrible things, or maybe just messing up the country, how as a voter should you own up to that? What do you want the voter to do? They went and did their duty as a citizen and they voted. And they told you, like Mabri said, they voted based on sera ambazo zilikuwa zinauzwa.
Okay. Okay. What I'm saying is very simple.
Mm-hmm.
It's very simple. Taking responsibility is taking responsibility before you vote. And when you also voted and realize a mistake, even from the MCA, you need also to take a responsible saying, at least we were the people who actually elected this person. He duped us. So let us have the channels. You know, you are giving me the channels of how we can remove a president. But I am not of the mind of the people who are telling us, the people who voted for this government, and they are now people who are calling for military to come and take over the power and giving us a lot of propaganda. Military will take over before May, before March. Military will take over when come to Koapi. My friend, we have been in opposition. You know, remember the people who are saying this, they have never tested opposition. They have never been in opposition. Small days in opposition makes them start diarrheaing like Kenya is ending tomorrow. Yeah, we have been in opposition, so we know how fighting for the country. How fighting for the country is. We cannot let the country go to the military hands and take another 20, 30 years fighting military. That is what I'm against, my brother. Let us be reasonable and take responsibility for this country. Number two, there were no military on June 25th on the streets. Military were deployed at night of that day. I don't know if the people like Mbari were protesting at night. And I was also mimi ni mtu wa Nairobi. So I don't think if there was a military at that time. There was no military. What you need to know, Mbari, in every election, in every process, in every war, in every revolution, there must be a propaganda. So if you fall for propaganda, don't fall for it wisely. That's why I'm calling about responsibility. Because by saying it is the military that were shooting us, that is reckless. That is not responsible. You know, it is a lie. Those were police people, those were policemen, and some crooks that were brought, I don't know from where, in civilian clothes. When military came, military has not shot anybody. They never shot even a single bullet. By here saying that military shoot at us, it is a very big lie. Our military never shoot at anybody. I was in town the other day when the military were roaming around. I remember I was in around Odeon when the military were coming through from Tom Mboya Street, and the people joined and danced with them until Haile Selassie. They never shot anybody. So that is part of being responsible. Yes.
I just wanted to say this. Why is it in your submission? I tend to agree with you in the military part. I think that's how I understood it too. I never thought the military shot people. But why is it that you're making it an opposition? Some people are now have not tested the opposition, but the common cry from majority of Kenyans is that Ruto has messed up and is not listening to people, so he needs to be removed. Why do you still want to make it an issue of a certain people being on the opposition? They haven't tested the opposition, they should be on the position, or whatever the case is. Why are you dividing Kenyans while even if you want to narrow it down to the people of Mount Kenya, the Mount Kenya people are crying about the same people, the same things that every Kenyan is crying about: poor economy, poor service delivery, poor roads, ukabila, uporaji wa mali, tribalism, and also so forth. Mount Kenya problem is Kenyan problems. It doesn't matter. Why are you trying to make it about them being in the position? Yes.
KR.
Yes.
Let me come in a little bit.
Come in.
I've had you. What I'm saying, bari kidogo nitakupea muda. What I'm saying is very simple. as much as we disagree with Ruto, even me personally, I disagree with Ruto. Not from yesterday. I have been disagreeing with Ruto as early as 2013. So I have almost 10, 20 years disagreeing with Ruto. So I don't have problem disagreeing with him now. Yes, I have a decade disagreeing with him. So what I'm saying, even if I'm disagreeing with him, I am disagreeing with him in a way that we must have a country in a good way, respectfully. Yani, hata kama ni kutoa yeye, let us call out of our MPs to bring an impeachment motion to the parliament.
But they won't.
If that cannot happen, that cannot happen, blame your MP. Number two, if that route cannot take you to the path of removing him, another way is there. Revoke the Article 1 of the Constitution. Our revolution is different with that one of Bangladesh. Because ours ilikuwa about just leaderless, partyless, tribeless, whatever. In Bangladesh, at the same time, we had the same kind of revolution, and they had a man called Khan Yunis, who was not even in the country, to be their leader. So what we need to do and what we need to say next time, or whatever the people who want to revoke the Article number 1, let's have a leader, let's have somebody who will take over as a caretaker as we're preparing for election. But we can't be leaderless, clueless after throwing out the government. Then we are creating a vacuum. That's where the devil, military, or any other militia can take over the country, and we will still not enjoy what we think we are fighting for. That is my word. Thank you.
Mabri, go ahead.
Okay, thank you. First, I want Ayaga to get his facts right. I said I was in the streets, and in the evening wakati tulikuwa tunaingia parliament, wanajeshi waliachiliwa. Now, let me ask you, in Githurai, who are shooting at night? Since we mwenyewe umesema wanajeshi walitoka usiku. I guess you know, at night in Githurai it was chaotic. Now,
Mbari.
It is Mabri, kindly.
Okay, my brother. There was no shooting at Githurai because you told us almost 200 people were killed. Where are those bodies? Who are they? Where were they buried? Where were they taken? Who are the relatives who are claiming that the mass shooting happened in Githurai? Let us stop just because we want.
No. Ayaga, I personally did not quote the number of people being shot, but it is evident. Videos were shared everywhere of chaos in Githurai, how people were being shot, even some sharing videos from their houses. If you don't want to take the responsibility of getting your facts right, I'm sorry. Now, the other thing I want to tell you, you can have a responsible government even if you are irresponsible. It is only that in Kenya, the government wants to, create a mongrel of a structure whereby they make you appear like you are irresponsible. Let me tell you, with a good leadership, hata mwenda wazimu anaweza vaa vizuri. Because of one thing, it is leaders who dictate the quality of education you are going to have. It is leaders who dictate the kind of business you are going to run. It is basically the whole leadership which dictates your mental health, because they decide all the key things which you as a person you should be enjoying and which are made to make you a better person. Now, I want to ask you a question. In fact, with the recent move to give out IDs, let me tell you what Ruto has done. The first thing which happened, Ruto introduced the Maisha card, and people had everything needed to do, people had an issue with it. There was an issue of security of data. and so on. So Ruto comes in, introduces a fee whereby people are expected to pay 300 and others 1,000 to to renew their IDs. Right now, Ruto is coming back as the savior, reintroducing again, saying that we are not going to charge people for IDs, and is rushing to launch it. Bearing in mind the issue of chips and expiry dates has not been addressed, isn't that taking us for a ride? And you ought to get your facts right. Not everyone who is against Ruto comes from Mount Kenya, and not everyone who is against Ruto wishes for the military takeover. Again, I've just asked you, history of military, where is it coming from? It is again coming from the political class. In fact, from the handshake partner. Me and you, we were not discussing about military taking over this country before Raila, or noticing that he's been cornered in Machakos with all facts in that meeting to show that he's been playing with people's mind. He tried to vindicate himself by saying he was saving Ruto from military coup. Who was trying to take over? Please get your facts right before you even talk of people who want to take. Nobody wants Kenya to go that route. And in fact, you've said very well, there are constitutional ways of taking over the presidency and impeaching a president. One, if the people feel like the president is not working for them, they have a right to. Again, if the people feel like the parliament is unfit, we can choose to disqualify the entire government. And that's what we did on 26th. By Ruto acknowledging that Baba's people are specialists, that is basically acknowledging that his people have failed the nation. So again, we've seen after the handshake, they are busy removing people from Mount Kenya, from key cabinet, from key committees, and replacing them with others from other regions. Is that the unity you want? Or what do you want us to think? They are the people trying to push for tribalism, and they want us to believe they are uniting. If they are uniting, why does someone ask to leave an office for this one to be accommodated? And now when this one is accommodated, the people from his side, are being sponsored with parties to go there, ulabaluing, saying that our own is in government. Don't fall into their trick. Thank you.
Okay, I've heard you. I want to tell you this very simple thing, my brother. Your clarion call then is wrong. You have problem with the entire system of Kenyan government. So what you need to call for is the dissolution of the government. Because if Ruto goes and leave for you behind the same old system of governance you are complaining about, you will still go through the hell that Kenyans are going through. So I always also want somebody like you who knows that what you need to call, the clarion call you need to call, is let us dissolve this government and go for election in next 90 days. That is also part of law. What I'm saying, the people who are opposing Ruto, they are very right. But oppose Ruto and suggest the removal of president through what we call the law. I will not have a problem with that. But looking for gerrymandering ways of removing the president that was democratically elected, that one I am against. Number two, the military issue Raila never said in Machakos. It is you have problem with your facts. The issue of military, Raila say in an exclusive interview with the Daily Nation, not in Machakos. In Machakos, I think Raila talk about other things. And SK Macharia also spoke there at Machakos. And the military were there, even former CDF was there, and even the current CDF was elected. They could have just stand and tell Raila, you were lying. The things you are saying do not exist. My friend, the military issue is not something that came up with. The military issue was a tactical problem from the government then, led by the Minister of Defense. They deployed the military wrongly. And when they realized that the situation is vulnerable, that military could take advantage. Those were the words of Raila in that interview. I think you should check on that interview. The situation was very vulnerable, and the military could take advantage. There were no plan, but when the situation is very vulnerable, anybody, even Eric Ayaga, can take advantage, because we are all human beings and we are all looking to be powerful. Okay. So that was a mistake. Exactly. Yeah.
Let's see Njiru. Njiru, karibu. Njiru, are you there?
Yeah, munanisikia?
Endelea. Tunakusikia.
Sasa ni language gani mnataka tuongee hapa? Tunaongea lugha gani?
Lugha ya kitaifa yoyote ambayo tunaweza kuelewa.
Hata Kisapere tunasikia, unaweza ongea.
Sauli hapa wasungu wanakaa sitaki kuongea lugha ya Kisungu, watasikia vile nasema. Okay, habari zenu wa Kenya. Haya.
Mzuri.
Mimi leo ni swali, nitaweka maswali munirudishie. Okay? Ya kwanza nataka kujua what is MOU meaning, na hiyo ikiwa ni Raila na Ruto, ati Raila akae pale akiwa akiambia Ruto vile anafanya baya, tunatakana tukue tu na parliament. Shauri hiyo ni kazi ya parliament. Okay? Number 1. Mtu anirudishie hiyo MOU meaning. Tena Ruto na Raila nimesikia wanasema ati Kenya iko democracy. That not true. They lie. Number 3. Kwa nini Ruto anataka kufungua project za MPs? Na ndipo nimeona Nyoro amefungua ile ofisi, na Ruto akapiga simu wale wa chief na whatever wasiende huko. Unaona hii Ruto anachezea wa Kenya alai. Unaona? Hiyo ni ujinga. Hiyo sio project ya president. Na president anafungua mabarabara ikijengwa. Sio sasa anaenda kufanya nini Mount Kenya? Nataka kwanza niambie hivi. Anaenda kufanya nini? Ni nini amejenga huko? Ile barabara kwanza tunangojea ni ile ya Mau. Na ameongea na majaji yake wafunge hiyo barabara isijengwe. Hiyo barabara iko tu pale. Ni kuweko tu rami. Kwani wakiweka nini? Wakiweka fence, hiyo wanyama watakongwa na ngali kweli? Tuweke fence ile wanyama wasikuja kwa barabara. Ruto anafikiria hiyo PhD yako naye sio ya leader, ni ya business. Complete ni ya business. Anaona watu wanakufa Kenya, hakuna madawa, madaktari wote wana machi, kila kitu iko mess, na ajali ni pesa tu anakopa, anaweka kwa mfuko, apeane agonge mapastors ndio apate kura. Haya, kitu kingine alisema kila mtu apewe vitambulisho. Si anaona Waislamu wamekutwa na wale watu waliua watu wa university huko. Wameingia Kenya sasa. Ingine watu wameshikwa huko wakitengeneza madawa kutoka Mexico, waliingilia wapi? Tuko na security kweli? Security iko wapi? Kenya sasa imekuwa mess. ule mtu ameweka pale kwa security amekuwa na CS mara 3 sasa. Hii ni ya 3. Akashindwa na ya kwanza, ya pili, ya 3 sasa. Wakora wote wameingia Kenya. Kazi yake ni gani? Tuna na security. Hao watu mnangojea nini wa Kenya? Ikiwa parliament watoi Ruto, Kenya wewe ndio tuko na nguvu ya kutoa huyu mtu. One day ni kumachi tu kutoka mtu asiende kazi hata moja. Tunasema hapana kotini. High court. Tutaki huyu mtu. Hiyo tu, na usichukue mawe kwa barabara ama kuharibu biashara ya mtu. Ni kutoka tu kusema kwa media tuko na mkutano Kenya mzima, maandamano mpaka kotini, huyu mtu aende. Tumutaki ya 4 ama ya 5. Ile 7 sasa anadirana hapa wapiganisha wa Kenya na majeshi. Wakiwa Kenyatta alilipa wale wa jeshi ndio hiyo reli ingilie pale. Na hao polisi wakachukua pesa. Huyu mtu mwingine anakujia nyuma anasema na yeye alipwe bilioni. Inatoka wapi? Sio ni Ruto tu. Ikiwa ile wale majeshi walipo pesa hiyo reli ipitie pale. Kwa nini huyu mwenye hii 7 kutokea siku ile? Wakenya walahi wacheni kuweka Ruto atawale kila mtu. Tuko na nguvu kuliko Ruto. Ruto hata kwanza atumie katiba anatumia nguvu zake. Ati ni mtu wa Mungu. Wapi Mungu? Wapi Mungu pale? Huo Mungu tumemjua kabla Ruto hajasaliwa. Mungu anasema ukija kunipe pesa kwa kanisa usikubali hiyo mkono ingine ya kisoto ijue ni pesa ngapi umenipe. Hii pesa yote ya maelfu mamilioni anapeana kanisa anatoa wapi? Msala ya huyu mnajua msala yake ni gani? Kwani ile makuku na hiyo nini mayai anauza inafikisha ile pesa yote ya saa peana. Miaka 15 inaenda sasa. Anapeana pesa kwa kanisa. Hii pesa anatoa wapi? Kenya mnalipa deni na Ruto anaweka pesa kwa mfuko. Sijai kusikia nchi mzima ati health system imepatiwa private people. Hiyo ni majina yenyu, kila kitu document anapewa watu private. Health na school system, everything is head of government, nobody else. Sasa tunanyamaza mpaka nini? Huyu mtu ameenda sana, amekibisa sana, na sasa tuanze kufikiria. Kufikiria sio ati tutoke kwa barabara kuharibu vitu ya watu. Ameanza kutembea na Mugeki. Si munaona Maina Jenga amekimya kabisa. Sauli amekaa pale amepewa pesa. Anatoa tu vijana. Ya wenyewe wauawe Sauli zenu. Sasa akiwa ameharibu hiyo Nairobi yote wiki jana. Tutamwangalia mpaka nini? Mpaka 2027? Hapana. Wallahi hapana. Huyu mtu asiende mbele sana tena. Tukae chini. Mbeleni Moi si tulikuwa tunatawalwa na makanga. Wakisema hakuna kazi, mpaka Moi apeleke sukari iende chini ama unga, tunasikia. Hakuna mtu alikuwa anakanyanga Nairobi. Hakuna matatu ilikuwa inaenda ama ile mabasi. Sasa siturudi pale. Sio ati maandamano. Hao walikuwa wanasema hakuna kazi. Moi siku hiyo ingine anaangusa sukari inaenda chini. Tunaweza kurudi ile mtindo ya Beren. Tunasema hakuna kwenda kazi Nairobi. Hiyo matatu yote business funga. Hakuna basi itaenda, hakuna nini. Na huo Ruto atateremka. Sasa wamesikana na huyu Raila. Raila anaenda kuambia Ruto awache nini? Kwa nini tunalipa wabunge? Wabunge hiyo ndio kazi yao. Raila ameenda pale kufanya nini? Nataka kujua hiyo tu.
Namwona Eric anataka kujibu. Hebu tumpatie nafasi kidogo.
Hebu kwanza niseme ya mwisho.
Haya.
Raila na hii nasikia Kenya mzima isikie hii swali. Raila ana adabu. Afrika mzima ilimuona akiserenda opposition. Unaona? Ati ameenda huko AU. Sasa tena siku ile tu alitoka huko Ethiopia akakimbia Mombasa, makaratasi zilikuwa kwa meza, ameandikania na serikali. Ako na haya. Afrika mzima walikuwa wanafikiria huyu amelitaya sasa. Hawa wanabeba watu wafara sana, walai. Na Raila akiwa mmoja. Hii ni pesa tu analipo ya nini? Saa hizi atalipo msala. Ameandikwa na nani? Na wewe unalia una hospitali na daktari wana university wana pesa, nini wana pesa? Anaingia kwa serikali analipo na nani? Ni kazi gani ameandikwa na nyinyi? Raila sio opposition forever, he never be. Sauli yote serikali ikisaguliwa analeta kinyokonyoko, anaingia kwa serikali. Anamwacha nyinyi kwa mataa. Hiyo ni ungwana kweli? Nimemaliza. Eric, rudisha hii.
Alafu nifunge duka.
Okay, hata mimi nataka kuenda mahali kidogo. So dadangu, nitakwambia hivi, kwa Raila nitakwambia haraka. Wewe hujai support Raila, hujai mpigia kura, hujai kuwa saidi yake. Na Waswahili wanasema, kwa sababu unasikia Kiswahili mzuri, Waswahili wanasema ukiona
hold on. How do you know I never voted Raila? How do you know?
Umekuwa na wewe ndio umesema na mdomo wako. My friend, wewe ndio umesema na mdomo yako, kwa sababu nimekaa na wewe kwa hizi platform sana. Ulisema kwa mdomo yako hujai support Raila na hutawahi msupport unless you want to revoke that word, ujitoe ndio tuanze mpya. So mimi nataka kukujibu na maneno ilitoka kwa kinywa chako. So what I'm saying, Waswahili wanasema kwamba ukiona unashangiliwa na madui ujue umefanya kitu mzuri, umefanya kitu mbaya. Lakini ukiona madui wanakusema ujue umefanya kitu mzuri. So Raila akisemwa na wale watu hawajai mpigia kura na hawajai msupport, hiyo ni ishara kwamba amefanya kitu mzuri. Number 1, MOU inamaanisha tu memorandum of understanding, mahali ambapo watu wawili wanakaa pamoja, wanaelewana venye wanataka kufanya kazi. Kuanzia hiyo siku wameandikishana, ukienda mbele. Hiyo ndio maana ya MOU, kwa sababu uliuliza. Na kwa hiyo MOU yetu na Ruto iko na maneno 10, na I hope umechukua muda yako ukazisoma zote. Sababu nini ya tatu pia umeuliza swali yenye nataka kukubaliana na wewe 100%. Mimi kama Yaga, mimi nataka kusupport Ndindi Nyoro kwa maneno ya Ndindi Nyoro. I know William Ruto anapanga kuenda Mount Kenya, na vitu anataka kuenda kufanya huko ni kufungua maproject za CDF. Sasa hata mimi ningependa kuomba hao wabunge wale wako na maproject wa launch hizo project faster, tuone kama raia kazi wanafanya. President asiende huko venye alifanya hapa Nairobi, kuenda kwa mashule ku launch building yenye imejengwa na CDF, na ila hali yeye pia ako na bajeti yake huko juu na hakuna project anafanya. Hapo naye nitakubaliana na wewe 100%, uko sawa. Na tukol sasa wabunge wasikubali kwamba rais anakuja kwa maeneo zao ku launch zile project wao wenyewe wanafaa kufanya. Wakifanya hivyo, tutawauliza ile pesa ya CDF yetu yeye alijenga nayo nini, kwa sababu mara mingi wanasimama pale wanatank rais, na hilo pesa inatolewa na bunge, na hiyo pesa inatoka kule kwa National Treasury direct to CDF, na ni kazi ya mbunge kufanya nayo hizo kazi. Hapo naye nitakubaliana na wewe. Asante sana, Mungu akubariki. God bless you.
Aya, uko na majibu Njeru kabla nifunge duka? Umjibu ya Yaga kabla nifunge.
Munaenda, mtarudi nini?
Nitarudi jioni kama in 4 hours hivi.
Si hapa kwangu ni jioni. Ni saa 5 ya usiku inaenda. Haya. Wacha niseme vile nitasema. Asanti Maraga, kwa mara ya kwanza umekubali hakuna kufanyana makelele hapa. Sisi sote tuko na shida. Hata nikiwa pale niko nashinda, family iko pale inanikula kama nini, kama Ruto vile anakula wa Kenya. Unaona hii pesa yote anakibiria vile umesema ni kweli. Sauli, hii pesa yote ni yetu, tunalipa tax. Ya Ruto anafanya nini naye? Kwa hivyo wa Kenya sasa tuache hata kusema ati huyu ni mzuri, huyu ni wote ni takataka. Hawa watu wote tukubali hivi, hata akiwa ni Raila ako na mafuta ama ni Uhuru ama ni nani, si unaona Mount Kenya iliserenda Uhuru. Sauli ya ujinga, usiambie Mount Kenya. Wacha nikwambie vile iko, my brother. Mount Kenya sio watu wa kuambiwa vile wanafanya ama wafuate mtu ovyo ovyo. Hao wako na mabiashara zao na wako na maneno zao, wanafuatanga vile biashara zao zinaenda, kahawa nini. Kwa hivyo sio watu wa kuambiwa maneno. Asante sana, Mungu abariki nyinyi.
Haya, asanteni sana jamani. Anashukuru Njeru Mwaura, Ayaga, Brother Benson, Mabri na kila mtu ambaye alikuwa anafuatilia kipindi. I'll see you guys like maybe in 4 hours. Thank you so much everyone. Please subscribe. Tony Owiti, thank you so much. Pritpal Kaur, kila mtu katika comment section. Chief Negus kama kawaida, na wengine weo. Subscribe, share, like, comment and do all the good stuff, okay? It's been a wonderful session. I'll see you guys next time. Peace and blessings. I'm out.